Hey guys, this is an answer to a viewer question asking about the parable of the talents. Now, I wanted to let people know I did a study on common idioms in the Near East and the Middle East during the first century, and it was a common biblical idiom to say things like outer darkness and weeping and gnashing of teeth. This is not about salvation. What this is, cast into outer darkness, means you're not going to partake of the festivities. You're not going to be part of the joyful celebration. All right? So this has nothing to do with salvation. I'll give you a rundown of what this seems to mean. That whatever gift God gives you, sow into his ministry, sow into his kingdom by serving him, making that one little thing you have productive, and he'll give you more. You know, if you're faithful with the gospel and you just tell people in your life, maybe he will give you more responsibility or a bigger ministry or whatever he gives you, be faithful with it and he'll bless you with more. But he gives you a spiritual gift or a gift of any kind, even a physical one, and you don't use it for God's kingdom, well, he's just going to take away what he's given you because you're not using it for him and give it to somebody that will be faithful with it. Okay? And I will show you that that's what this means. All right, let's look at it. This is not salvific at all. For the kingdom of heaven, he's telling you how God's kingdom works. All right? It's different than the worldly kingdoms. For the kingdom of heaven, now, one of the ways it's different is that when you're humbled and there's nothing outwardly pleasurable to the world about you, God will use you. Like, I don't look holy. I'm not great. I don't speak like a holy one. I just use what I have and give good news to other people. But if you were to look for a holy person, it wouldn't be me. You wouldn't see my picture. But God uses the things despised. He uses people that you wouldn't think he's going to use. He often picks the smallest person, the humblest. But in this world, works differently, doesn't it? In his kingdom, if you want to be a leader, you humble yourself and be a servant, and then he exalts you. Okay, it's quite different than the world does. You'll see these rappers and everybody talking about how great I am. I'm the best. I'm this. I'm that. They're boasting. Okay, but in God's kingdom, you humble yourself. You make yourself of no reputation, and God will elevate you. Okay, so it's quite different than the world's kingdom. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Okay, so this man is giving some of his servants responsibilities, all right? And unto one he gave 5 talents, and the talents were a type of coin, all right? Now, we know like seed is the word of God. So this talent can represent a spiritual gift of any kind. It could even be a physical gift. But if you don't sow it into God's kingdom and use it for his glory, he's not going to grow it. He's going to take what you do have and give it away that somebody will be faithful with it. Okay? And he said, and to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. Now we know salvation has nothing to do with ability or works of any kind. It's for him that worketh not. If it's works, it is no longer grace. So this is not talking about salvation. This is about how his kingdom works, all right? Servants. So you don't hoard your gift. You're a light to the world. You bring it out, set it up on a hill so the whole world can see it. So it dispels the darkness. You don't hide it and keep it yourself. You share it and you get more of it. The more you give away, the more you get. Okay? Then he that received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made another 5 talents. So he doubled his master's money. See, people could understand this, the carnal thing with money, investing and doubling money. They got that. Okay, that's wise. And likewise, he that received 2, he gained another 2, so he doubled it too. But he that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of whose those servants cometh and reckoned with them. And so he that received 5 talents came and brought another 5, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. I also believe, to some people's disagreement, some don't believe in the reward doctrine in eternity. I do. I think 1 Corinthians 3 says that our works will be tried and will be rewarded or suffer loss of that reward. And if we're faithful with what we have here, that he will assign us our position there. I believe that because the apostles are given a very special reward, and that is to be judge and ruling over the 12 tribes of Israel. Tongue-tied there. So then the Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained another 2 talents besides them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man. So he had this vision of God that he was mean and wicked, and so he was so terrorized by his bad opinion of the Father's character that he didn't want to serve at all, because I might mess up and he might put his wrath on me. I'm just not going to do anything with it. So first of all, he had a really ugly, wrong view of God. All right? God is loving, plus he'll give you the strength to do whatever he told you to do. If he told you to do it, he'll give you the ability to do it because it is his will to perform in you. All right? He is the author and finisher of our faith. So he had a very bad view of the Father. So he said, I know thou art a heart man, reaping what thou hast not sown and gathering what thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Remember it says the fearful and unbelieving? Where thou hast not strawed, and I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. So whatever gift his boss gave him, instead of doing something to benefit the household of his boss, he just put it in the ground. He didn't do anything with it because of his bad opinion of him. All right? And he said, Thou oughtest therefore have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I could have at least got my own with usury. He said, if you'd have at least invested it in a safe investment like the bank, I could have at least got a little bit of interest on that 1 talent. But you didn't. You didn't do anything with it. You hid it. So when we hide the light that God gives us, when we hide the gift that God gives us, and we don't use it for his kingdom, he's going to take away what we do have, and it'll be of no use to the kingdom. And we will not hear good, well done, good and faithful servant, because he's not going to give you more. What he's saying is, if he gives you something, be faithful with what you have. And another thing, don't wait till you have a lot. Oh, I'll do it when I have this. No, be faithful with what you have now, and he will give you increase in that, whatever it is, okay? Because you've been faithful with what you have. And he said, at least I could have got interest, received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which has 10 talents. Because the guy with the 5 talents was faithful with what he had. He doubled it. He sowed into the kingdom. It benefited his master. So just take away even that little bit he's got, because he's not faithful with even one. He can't even handle one little gift. So I'm going to give it to the guy that does. All right? So he said, because, remember, many are called, few are chosen. For unto everyone that has shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he has. And cast the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This is not saying they're going to cast. This is not about salvation. This is not about an unsaved person being cast into hell. This is about how the kingdom works. So this is about being faithful with what God gives you. And you won't be in the celebratory. You won't be in the celebration of those that have served the Lord. Okay? That's all it's saying. Uh, this is, and this can be in this earth. It's not even, in the world to come, but right now. You won't have the joy of knowing that you're serving God and doing what He told you to do with what He gave you. So He's just saying, be faithful with what you have, and He'll give you more. And if you're not faithful, He's going to take away what you do have. So that's the whole point of this story, okay? A lot of people try to make things salvific that aren't even salvific, okay? So Jesus taught about a lot of things, not just salvation. We have to be able to rightly divide what these things are about. So I have a couple of viewers that have OCD and a couple other like emotional and mental issues that's constantly stealing their joy. I'll do some videos for you, but I really want you to know, look, as long as you are looking at yourself for peace, for your salvation, for your assurance, you will never have peace. You will never have assurance because the law makes you guilty. It's supposed to do that so that you turn to Christ in faith and you trust in Him. So you keep your eyes on Christ and what God's promises are and what He is able to perform. Okay? Not you. That's why you're not having peace, because you're going into religion. Religion says, look what man does for God. But the Word of God says, look what God has done for man. That's why you have the peace that passes all understanding, because it has nothing to do with you or your strength or your performance, but what Christ has fulfilled for us. Okay? So anyway, that is my interpretation of this. I do not read commentaries. I don't like to look at them. I'll look at something after I've read it. So I'll be happy to look at something after I've read it and try to see what comes to me. But to me, this is clearly not a salvific issue. It is a service one. All right? Once you are saved, it is God's will you serve Him. You should. He saved you. He loves you. And He's got a destination for you. He's got plans for your life. And so you should be walking in His will and fulfilling that purpose. All right? God bless you guys. And happy Thanksgiving again.